as ensuring we'll be there when the building season starts. Choose from our standard models or customize your own. Stop into Alexandria Homes today.
This is the Morning Sports Desk for Tuesday, October 24th. All right, Corey, high school football playoffs starting today, but state tournament time as well?
State tournament time indeed. As a matter of fact, the team state tennis tournament gets underway today. Want to wish a special good luck to the Brainerd Warriors, who take on Rochester Mayo in the opening round action today. We have a number of individual athletes, either singles or doubles teams that are participating as well. It's 2 days of the team tournament, then 2 days of the individual tournament. So as the week rolls on, we'll let you know who those individuals are. Brainerd, the only area team, though, at the state tennis tournament. So good luck to the Warriors as they play today again against Rochester Mayo. But yeah, for us, hyper locally, I guess, section football gets underway today, CJ, and that means games all around the state. We've got 2 of them on the air, and I guess I'll just dive right into it if that's okay. My game that I have this evening, it'll be on AM 920 and 101.7 FM KWAD. The Verndale Pirates will host the Sabika Trojans. It is Section 5 9-player football on the air this evening. The Verndale Pirates are the home team. They end the regular season at 5-3 overall. They are the 4 seed in this tournament. They ended their season with 2 straight losses to both Nevis and Cromwell Wright. We'll run through the section standings to let you know where everybody is on that matchup, of course, or on that bracket, I should say. These 2 teams did play each other in the very first game of the season. It was a 40-6 victory for Verndale. Again, that was all the way back in week 1. The Sabika Trojans come into tonight's contest at 2-6 overall. They are on a 1-game winning streak, beating Bertha Hewitt in the final week of the season, 40-38. Just a crazy score and a crazy game in that one. I want to go through this because I think it's important to take a look at before the section seedings. I also, CJ, want to bring it up because, well, I think it's hilarious. Obviously, no conferences anymore in high school football. We only have districts. And I just love the name of this district. Are you ready?
Okay.
District 9 North-South standings.
Yes.
South is in parentheses, just for added clarification.
It's the south part of the north,
It's District 9 North-South standings. In case you're wondering what the North stands for, in parentheses it says South, just to help clear up any confusion as to what you might have. Nevis was the top team there, undefeated. Ogilvie, Cromwell Wright, Verndale, Bertha Hewitt, Hill City, Northland, Sabika, Carlton, Renshaw, McGregor, and LaPorte is the official order of the District 9 North-South standings. Mostly I just wanted to bring it up because I think it's ridiculous.
If you find yourself going north, you'll end up going south. You know what I mean?
That's eventually you'll wave to Santa Claus, and then you'll start heading south.
Exactly.
Let's take a look at the Section 5 9-player bracket. Nevis is the number 1 overall seed. They get an opening round bye because there are only 7 teams in the section. Carlton Renshaw is the 7 seed. They're at number 2, Ogilvie. Bertha Hewitt is the 6 seed. They're at number 3, Cromwell Wright area. And then the 5 seed, Sabika, at the 4 seed, Verndale. It's a 5:40 pregame this evening with a 6 o'clock kickoff, again on KWAD.
And over on the Superstation, K106, 105.9 FM, also streaming live on WadenaRadio.com and the Superstation K106 app. It is the Wadena Deer Creek Wolverines hosting the Monaga Braves. Wadena Deer Creek 2-6 overall on the season. They're 1-1 in Section 6 AA play, 2-2 at home, 0-4 on the road. And Monaga is 1-7 on the season, and they have played no games in the section, interestingly enough. So this will be their first one here in the playoffs. They are 1-3 on the road, 0-4 on their home field, and both teams will square off in the only matchup in 6AA football tonight. As we talked about yesterday a little bit, that section only has 5 teams. So Osakis, the 1 seed, they're going to get the bye. The winner of this game tonight will take on the Silver Streaks. Will take on the Silver Streaks. And Pillager will host Staples Motley on Saturday. And that's kind of where things stand. Tonight's football game has a 5:45 pregame, or 5:40 pregame, 6 o'clock kickoff from the WDC football field. And, like we've talked about before, Corey.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You kidding me?
Playoffs.
We're talking playoffs. We're also talking regular season stuff, as a matter of fact. The Timberwolves get ready to open the regular season tomorrow night. They're at Toronto, but some big news out of Timberwolves camp yesterday.
Yeah, Jaden McDaniels signed a 5-year, $136 million extension to stay with the Minnesota Timberwolves for the foreseeable future. Of course, Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels drafted in that same draft class, and those two guys have certainly propelled the Wolves forward. Jaden McDaniels got snubbed on an All-NBA defensive team nomination. He should have got one. He's one of the best defenders in the league. The Wolves lock him up, and if you look at between him and Carl and Gobert and Ant, I know that there's going to be some money, the issues that are going to need to get fixed, but that's pretty nice, especially when you consider Mike Conley this season. We'll get into a full breakdown of that signing and like the numbers and how it works out and everything. We'll do a little Wolves season preview tomorrow because they open up the season in Toronto. But Corey, in the words of a wise man named Anthony Edwards, they got Kevin Durant, but we got Jaden McDaniels for the next 5 years.
For the next 5 years, at most. The way the NBA works. No, that's really nice. Other regular season stuff. The Wild are at home tonight. They wrap up their 3-game homestand with Edmonton. That's an 8 o'clock face-off at the XL Energy Center. I'm still mostly opinionless on the Minnesota Wild so far. That's what happens when you hover around that 500 mark. They neither win impressively or lose impressively. They've
had a couple impressive losses to this year, giving up 7 goals.
Well, I know.
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's like kind of the consistent. They're consistent with it. You know what I mean?
You know,
it's not like, whoa, what happened in that one? They either win or they kind of get.
When people say never get too high or never get too low, that's it's the Minnesota Wild from a 30,000 foot view. In the middle of the season, it's just peaks and valleys all the way through.
Yeah, it's not like a great franchise philosophy, is it? How about get like super high?
Yeah,
just once. That'd be fun.
And never come down.
Speaking of super high on Minnesota sports, the Vikings beat San Francisco last night. Monday Night Football, 22-17 final score. The best Vikings all-around game all season long by far.
Oh, 100%. There's a few different areas you can look at. First off, no Justin Jefferson again. Last week, the offense struggled. This week, Jordan Addison stepped up. First career game of 100-plus yards. Had a couple touchdowns. Could have had a third one, but had just an overall great game. We've seen good things from Addison all year long, but to fully see that come out and to get to see him kind of show why he was a first-round pick and why he was a Biletnikoff winner in college and all that stuff. I mean, just a great game for him. The defense held the vaunted 49er offense. I know they don't have Debo Samuel, but they have a ton of other weapons, and they held that offense to 17 points and picked off Brock Purdy twice. And, by the way, Kirk Cousins had one of the best games of his career, throwing for 345 yards, had an interception, but whatever. That was a 50-50 ball, 2 touchdown passes, and overall he was locked in, about as locked in as Kirk Cousins can ever be. But, Corey, this is the thing, 2 things in this game that stood out more than anything to me. Number 1, the Vikings were great on third downs. I think 2 of their touchdowns came on third down conversions. And they were just great on third down all game long. I mean, they only had to punt once it just goes to show you how impressive that was for them. And the other thing was the offensive line. Kirk Cousins dropped back to pass 45 times. How many times was he sacked, Corey?
0 times.
0 times. He had 6 quarterback hits on 45 dropbacks.
Although there was one at the end of the game where my wife and I were watching, and we were both like, "What? Huh? How did he got completely swallowed up, and then just, I don't know, like he was a pop star being shot out of the stage from under, like, coming from the pit. He just appeared and made the throws that was a very strange. But you're right. I mean, even just 1 sack against that defense would have been incredible.
Christian Darrisaw is going to probably get extended sometime in the next year or 2. And here's the thing about Christian Darrisaw. His contract negotiations, he's going to go to Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and just put on game tape of him dominating Nick Bosa and be like, we're done here. Yep. Best defensive edge rusher in the league, one of them. And I put him in his place, and he did nothing all night. That's it. And just an overall great. And that play you mentioned by Kirk, not only did he escape the sack, but he threw the ball 20 yards downfield to Addison for a catch, which just everything was worth. Now, is that sustainable, or every single facet of the Vikings that are going to be playing to optimal performance? No, but this goes to show you why it's so frustrating that this team lost to Tampa Bay in week 1 because they'd be 4-3 in a game out of first place. But here they are. They're 3-4. A loss would have ended the season. But, Corey, I'm going to tell you the Vikings' next few games at Green Bay, that game seems winnable. At Atlanta, that game seems winnable. Hosting New Orleans, that game seems winnable. Going to Denver, that game seems winnable. Hosting the Chicago Bears, that seems winnable. Then you have your bye week, and then you go to the Las Vegas Raiders, which seems winnable. The last 4 games are sketchy, but the Vikings have a chance here in this middle part of the schedule to make things interesting.
Well, they have to.
Yeah.
Right? They shot themselves in the foot in the early season.
They left themselves no room for error.
And this was the game. Like, once you got through this game, between now and the bye week, so we're going into week 8, and the bye week is week 13. So this is a stretch now, a little over a month, where it has to happen. Like you kind of got to go 5-0.
Yeah.
You kind of got to go 5-0. You shot yourself in the foot now. Fortunately, this stretch here is 5-0 is within reach. But it was just fun to watch. It's a compulsion at this point for them to turn it over.
On the opening drive too.
They can't help it. But I guess if you're going to turn it over somewhere, it's better to throw an interception in your first 5 plays than Brock Purdy threw 2 interceptions in his last 5 throws. The game's over if you do that. So, it was just fun. They ran the ball. Some of the things that they did, it might be sugar-coated here, right, because they ended up winning the game. But, like, some of the things they did here seemed like things they've been doing all season, except the part where they would capitalize in the scoring zone.
Right.
Now, they had a couple of duds right down at the goal line, but, Addison steals that one away from that poor 49ers.
Well, he stole one from him earlier, so they got even.
But some of those things, right, they even out a little bit. And I don't know, man, it was just fun. Vikings, it's more fun when they win. And then on top of it, it just felt like a complete win. It was cool.
It's fun to watch a football team be good in everything that they need to be good at.
I recommend them doing that again.
I would just simply call all of those plays
Vikings,
again.
I would just win soundly every single week.
Yeah, how hard is that?
Skull, baby.
Skull to the bowl. We're back on that. We're back on that. 7:31 on KWAD. This has been the Morning Sports Desk for Tuesday, October 24th. Here's MNN News.
Minnesota News Network on Brent Home. Hennepin County judge is rejecting a plea deal for Hussein Braveheart, aiding and abetting murder in a 29